mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on a what? Yeah. You know I be on a what? Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on a what? Yeah. It's all hard, ain't no fear here.
What's up? Welcome to another exciting episode of Ride the Rebellion podcast. As always, I'm your host, Drew Hall, and with me is the king of the South Alabama Turndown, revised edition, the chief executive officer and chief creative officer, chief marketing officer of Dale Boyd. What was your 504 Customs?
480.
480 Customs.
Spelled out.
And the entire company of Dale Boyd Sports Management. Dale Boyd.
I can't possibly have more businesses that make $0.
You're a top tier. Welcome to the podcast about entrepreneurship for losers.
For entrepreneurship for people that don't like having jobs, that just keep throwing things in the air and waiting for one of them to stick.
It's not a bad plan.
No.
I mean, if you think about, if you have, the rule of 80-20 is you have 100 jobs, 20 of them might turn a small profit, and from those, one will be profitable.
Sooner or later, you have to have all these passion projects and people will pay into your passion, right?
No, that's the truth.
That's what I keep telling myself.
No, I mean, that's what you have to tell yourself. That's the only way to do it.
Because right now I'm only getting paid by passion.
No, we paid you just to cut you a check.
That's a different job, though. That's
fair. That's an actual job.
That's your passion.
It was.
Yeah.
I don't know about all that. I told everybody this morning, I was like, listen, some of these clients are going to keep paying, and we just keep charging them, and they just, it doesn't matter. You just keep charging them.
Remember what I just said?
They're
Just
happy.
keep
They're making
showing
money.
up. Just keep showing up.
Well, they make money.
Mm-hmm.
That's the secret. It's like they make money whether or not. So if they're happy making money, then why turn it off? Just keep
It's
going.
true. Just keep the faucet dripping.
Just keep it dripping.
Said the Pritchard Water Board.
Oh, no. Oh,
A local jab.
no. Yeah, a hyper local chap. I did get served a ad the other day that was like, you can make $2,000 working for Uber in Pritchard. And I was like, there ain't enough people in Pritchard to support a $2,000
Wait.
Uber job.
Was it a life insurance ad?
It was an Uber. Just drive for Uber.
Well, no, you think about it. You got to have life insurance to drive for Uber in
Well, maybe
Pritchard.
so. I don't know about all that. But I'm just
It's
saying
a double
that, like,
ad.
there's not enough people. That's like saying, like, hey, would you like to make some Uber in Sims?
Ugh.
Yeah. I mean, how many meth heads are you going to deliver from one meth lab to the next?
Oh, man. I don't even know that I know where all the trailers are to go do all that.
That's what I'm saying.
No offense, Sims folks.
Yeah, speaking of Sims.
All four of you.
Speaking of Sims, how's Todd Golf doing?
The Todd.
The Todd has not been around in a long time.
needs
And
to-
we can call him out on the show because he may or may not listen.
We need to do like one of those bat signals,
Yeah.
but it's just like says the Todd in the sky.
Yeah.
And we get all a bunch of Todds that think they're the Todd.
Yeah, there's only one.
There's only one.
There's only one The Todd. We have Todd Hall and we have The Todd.
My wife was trying to explain to my mom why my mom was here this week about how funny the Todd is.
He's hilarious.
And I was like, you can't explain it because you can't repeat his jokes because you'll be canceled.
Oh no, it's cancel culture USA for sure. Did how was your mom's trip? Did she enjoy herself?
Yeah, it was cool because we just did life. Like we didn't try to go do a million different things. We just did life.
Oh, that's good. That's positive.
Yeah, pretty cool.
And so she had a good time. I've got myself backwards right now, so people watching the video, I've flipped between.
We're just going back
you.
and forth, just dance.
No, I've been flipping it. When
I know,
you're talking, I'm on. Yeah, you see
Luckily,
the red light.
there's a light now.
Yeah.
I don't have to guess.
I know. I'm gonna fix it. Just got to get my brain around it. We had two
It's all right.
meetings back to back, and then it was like straight into podcast time.
Well, this is mansplaining. Remember that meme I sent you?
Yeah,
We're just when dudes sit down and mansplain to each other. It's called a podcast.
that is accurate and accurate. JD just walked out. He might be our new Sasquatch, but he has a man bun, so he's like the hipster Sasquatch that walks by.
He's the new age woke Sasquatch.
Yeah, what I say yesterday, he looks like an agency douchebag. I'm thrilled to have an agency douchebag on my roster. That means we potentially have more
With
sales.
all due respect.
I don't talk too much shit because he's like Kevin Black. Kevin Black's gonna beat me up with just brute force. JD's trained in jiu-jitsu, so he's gonna rip me apart.
Yeah. Speaking of Kevin Black, he could probably beat you up, hold you down, and tattoo you beautifully at Man of War Tattoo.
That was a pretty good segue.
That was pretty good.
I'm not going to deny it.
That was good.
Yeah, unofficial sponsor. I guess they're kind of officially a sponsor at this point. Unofficially official sponsor of the Ride the Rebellion podcast, Man of War Tattoo. That's right. You can go over there. You can find them on Facebook. Best way to find their stuff, though, is to look at the art on their Instagram, which I can't remember what it is, but Dale knows.
Blackie Tattoos on Instagram, at Blackie Tattoos.
Is that what it is? Probably at Man of War Tattoo.
They have both.
Okay.
I think at Blackie Tattoos is just Kevin. Then there's 2 other artists in there as well. So.
Yeah, and if you check out Kevin's one, again, you get free mountain biking stuff. He's down for the count, though.
Yeah, he just rode the other day, so hopefully,
great. Welcome
hopefully
back.
things are looking up. Hey, quit following Bill. You'll quit wrecking. Bill is contagious.
Bill, old
Wild Bill though.
We got Boomtown Bill and Wild Bill,
Yeah.
and both of them, they just do their own thing.
I just want to go hard like Wild Bill does when I'm his age. No offense to your age, Bill.
I know he
But
listens.
offense.
Though. He listens.
He does listen.
If you haven't seen that crash, where's that crash located? You can see it. Is it on the Rebellion page, or is
it's
that just
on-
an FNL?
No, it's on. No, I put it on social media. I don't forget what one though. It's out there.
It's out there.
It's
a
there.
fail Friday worth. If you're into that thing, it's a fail Friday's worth of a crash. It legit happened during a.
No, it's on our Ride the Rebellion because I did Bugs Wreck first.
Yeah.
And we got a bunch of views on that. And I was like, let's just play into the death.
Yeah.
Here you go, Bill. Sorry for the blood.
Bill's was rough too, though. He took a couple broken ribs, I think.
3 broken ribs, but
Yeah.
put your dropper post down, as they teach you very well at Dirt Coaster Academy.
Man, your Segway game is in fuego. We need to.
He's
note
heating
this.
up.
Like, don't do too early. Dale's not good. Don't do too late. Dale's already drunk. But if you do it at the right time,
That's
Dale
right.
comes in with the Segway game, because that's right. Dirt Coaster Academy. That was
good.
very. I hope right now somewhere there's a on a treadmill or a bike somewhere. Nina is just smiling, making a note.
she doesn't-
Toby's got to be grin to grin on that. There's no way
I know.
around it.
Nina has been skipping her feedbacks.
Oh yeah, we haven't been getting those.
Damn it, Nina.
I know. Maybe we didn't. We just haven't been putting out the product she likes. You know,
Maybe not.
it's been
dry
very.
lately.
We've been very duty. We've been very
it's
dutish.
really hard to get guests when we barely know when we can have time to do it.
That's fair enough.
We've been busy. We're making moves.
We are making moves. If you haven't had a chance to go over to dirtcoasteracademy.com and check out when their next class is, it's well worth it. I don't know if Bill's a graduate. I don't think he is. Maybe he is.
I think Bill is, but also just another.
Bill's
plug.
older. Maybe he forgot.
Yeah, he might have. He
gonna
definitely
fucking
forgot
murder
that
us.
his dropper post had a lever because he went ejectocito. Cuz
Fair enough.
also there's they probably would like us to drop the Go Nuts stuff that's going
for sure.
on
Go for it.
February 18th and 19th.
Is it 17th, 18th, 19th?
Yes, all 3, all
Yeah.
day, all weekend. They're having a. Let me make sure the dates. I don't want to
Well,
mess it up.
so if you have a chance to head over to dirtcoasteracademy.com, see where the next class is, I highly suggest taking the class while Dale's looking up the actual dates. And then if you take the class beforehand, then maybe you're just bold enough and just brave enough to compete in the Mega Zeph Midnight Jump Challenge or
Yeah.
whatever they have going on. Go for it.
Yeah,
Kick
they're
it off.
supposed to have it's the 17th, 18th, 19th of February. And he's also doing a Mardi Gras bike float parade. And
That's fun.
the winner gets some pretty legit prizes, $2,000 worth of prizes going out.
Gee,
pretty
Manny.
awesome. They're also having a 3-hour and a 6-hour race on Sunday, which is insane. Kind of crazy.
Is that like crits? Or
No, those are going to be like long XC races.
Yeah, nice.
So probably how many laps you can do in 3 hours or
Got
6.
it.
I don't know the format. But the Enduro is on Saturday. So, and
Yeah.
maybe we'll make a cameo.
Yeah, we've been talking about it. The challenge we have, of course, right now is schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I've drugged Dale into my world, he's kind of stuck in the same boat of like, we have no idea when and where things are going to go and how it'll happen. But we're able to move there swiftly and accomplish that. And our feet don't get tired on all these jobs because we buy our shoes exclusively from Run and Try.
Oh, he hit it. He did it. was
No
good.
joke. I was wearing brand new Topos.
That's
are the
right.
shoes that I've switched over to for set work.
And got some compliments.
Yeah, I did. I switched over to Topos. Justina, who's sitting in the room, was complimenting those. But I switched over to Topos, and the reason why is because they're like Hoka's, except for the trail. So they're grippy.
I have 2 pairs of trail topos.
They're fantastic.
Yeah. They are
Have
pretty
you
nice.
run in them?
Yeah, I have. The only downside I had of the ones that I have are they're too narrow, but that's not the shoe's fault.
Yeah.
It's my fat body fault.
But they're fantastic shoes. So I do suggest them. I did get those from he could call in this time frame. This is
Yeah, this is well in his window.
yeah. But I did get them from over there. And then, so my wife went in right behind me, and she's the first one that she was wearing Topos ahead of it. So she went in, and then he fit her, got her a new pair. And then nice enough, apparently, if you go in and you talk to them and you like mention the podcast and like, you buy maybe 2 pairs of shoes, you got a discount.
Yes.
I'm just being straight up about it. And he can get mad all he wants, but if I send him business,
That's right.
we send him your way. But if you have a chance, go over to Run and Try. You can look him up online at runandtry.com. But it's best to go in there, hang out with Aaron or anybody that's there. He has like
You can even talk bikes with him because he's training for a bike race now.
Doesn't he have your old Jameis?
Yeah, he's going on a 60-mile bike race in a couple months.
He's clipping in, isn't he?
He's clipping in. He's going to clip in. He ain't clipping out.
Do you think he'll start carrying shoes? Is this a good chance for us to convert him to carry
He
shoes?
has a Run and Try place.
That's what I'm saying.
That's true. I mean, we have some pole.
We should test shoes. We should have a whole podcast that's nothing but mountain bike shoes and how quickly we destroy them. Because 510s suck.
Yeah, I just destroyed my 2FO Specialized shoes in like no time.
Really?
Well, the other ones.
Oh, not
So
the
I
red
have
ones.
one-
The
the
red
red
ones
ones
have
are-
lasted forever.
The red ones are like Alice. What is the movie? Wizard of Ozzy.
Yeah.
They don't ever get broken. Houses can land on them. Pfft, they're good.
They take you someplace if you click them 3 times.
They take a lot of people places.
Oh, boy. I don't know where that went.
I don't know either. It was deep. That was too off the end. There was another fun thing that happened in the running community. So I have a nickname in the running community as well. It's not the King of the South Alabama Turndown because they don't even know what a South Alabama Turndown is.
Correct.
But to be fair, neither does our community.
That is also correct.
But in the running
Does
community,
our audience to be even further correct.
right? So yesterday, somebody made a post in a running group, and it was about a walrus. And so one of the other runners said, "Well, Dale's kind of like a walrus, like a fast walrus." I was like, "Wait, what?" He's like, "Well, you always say you're the fattest of something." I was like, "Yeah, I'm the fattest of the fastest,
Right.
undisputed in my weight class."
That's fantastic.
So there's another nickname. I'm not the walrus though. Walruses are
We're going with walrus. That's going to have to happen.
No.
No?
I'm not-
Okay.
I'm
I don't
not
like
cool
it
with
either.
walrus.
So you had mentioned, or we'll talk about that in a minute. I was thinking about this the other day, is that, if we look at mountain biking, one of the things that we constantly look at, and it does get brought up to us, and even I look at metrics and all this stuff, like, again, people want to know about new bikes. Oh, how do I buy a new bike? But the number one thing I see if I'm scouring Reddit or Facebook groups or whatever is people talking about the cost of things. It's always about money, right? And I don't know if that's because they spent $10,000 on the Arrival We Are Ones. Oh, yeah, I want it so bad.
I know. It's so
If you guys haven't seen that bike, just drop what you're doing right now. Keep the podcast playing because we'll just serenade you into beautifulnul But literally go look up that bike. The We Are One Arrival is
Put
just...
it straight into your spank bank.
It is 100%. It is straight bike porn.
Right.
Legit. But with that said, we look at stuff. That bike's like $10,000, $12,000.
Yeah, I think the frame was like $5, but
Yeah. It's full carbon. I mean, everything.
It's beautiful.
And you get We Are One rims free.
Ooh, yeah.
I wonder if they market it that way. I haven't looked to see.
They
Comes
should've.
with free We Are One, but I think it comes with like Hydra hubs. I mean, it's a beefy.
However, after riding a big heavy bike like I am, I would not mind having an enduro bike that was carbon and light.
Yeah, correct.
Like I love it for going downhill, but climbing, woo,
Yeah.
it's like a parachute.
I think if there's a little bit of pedaling involved, it's weird even now, like going from the Trek EXE that I have, like that is fun to go downhill on. Obviously it's an e-bike, but it's only like 42 pounds. So it's 10 over my Gorilla Gravity. But the climbing side of things, it's a huge difference, right? Not talking about cheating with the motor. That's a separate beast altogether, but it's a huge difference. So yeah, I'd love that bike. My point in bringing all that up is when we start looking at stuff, one of the things I thought was kind of interesting is we hear a lot of dialogue and conversations. I see people talking about like spending money on it. So I wanted to throw this topic out just for randomness. What are your top 3, right? And we don't plan this shit because that's just not how the show works. But what are your top 3 best value for the dollar bike upgrades or parts or whatever in mountain biking? What are your top 3? Have you ever kind of considered that down the pipeline?
like what can you make your bike better the cheapest?
That, or just what are 3 things that you feel like are the best value in mountain biking, period? How about that?
Oh, okay. The best full bike value is a YT.
No.
Like-
You're going to put that in there as a full bike value.
Yeah, like if you're going to buy a whole bike
Yeah.
that has great components and a great bike, YT offers an amazing component package.
You'd put them over like a polygon?
Yes. If
the
you're going to pay,
the component base is better, but you're
Yeah.
but what I'm saying is, are you going to subcategorize that out like dollar for dollar?
yeah, if you're going in the $3,000 range, go buy
Right.
a YT.
Oh yeah.
Like, so maybe it's not the best value, but
No, that I would
I
argue
think-
that is the best value.
yeah.
Because I think the
Because
components
if you for $3,000, no offense to Specialized, I love Specialized bikes, but for $3,000, what you get from a YT bike, you can't even touch a good, like that same level of Specialized components.
right.
Like the same SRAM GX, you're gonna get a Specialized with SRAM SX maybe
Right.
instead. So I just think YT has the
And
corner market.
it also seems like you get better. It's the components. It seems like you get better parts, like
like that stems and handlebars.
yeah,
And
all of those
pretty
components
rad.
end up being better across the board. The catch is like the thing I've learned is like you have to look at your budget on that side of things, like value for value. I've been very impressed with what I guess Polygon and
Polygon,
Mayrin
yeah.
are combined now, and they're selling them together. But every time someone showed up on one of the online versions of the Mayrin, it's been a good bike. The downside is most of them don't come with a dropper for the price point. I think most of those are like $1,100 or $1,200 somewhere around.
Yes.
Maybe they're sub 1,000. I'm not sure.
It's still good. Like,
But they're popping up with
Yeah.
and so again, not a bad deal. But you're going to end up upgrading that bike down the road. The catch with the YT is if you don't want to. I mean, there's some stuff you can upgrade, but frankly, you have a good enough bike that for the
yeah,
$3,000 you can ride the shit out of that bike.
that's a bike that what you do is you buy it and you ride it, and if something breaks, then you upgrade it. You don't
Yeah.
buy the same thing that was on it.
Yeah,
you
there's
try
been
it.
some bikes where you see people go out, and you see posts like this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a dude go out and buy a WeAre1. I mean, he bought the full bike because he was selling some of the stuff off, and then he changed all the parts out.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus, you just spent like an ungodly amount of money
Mm-hmm.
just to get to that point. And he didn't. Why not just buy a custom bike? Why didn't you just go
Right.
frame up? Right? It
Yeah.
probably would have been cheaper to go frame up. Maybe not, but still.
Well, sometimes I even think like, all right, well now I have every part component wise I want. I can just buy frames every once in a while and change my bike completely.
That's a
and
good
just
point.
keep those good parts.
That's what Lepu used to tell me.
Yeah, you could do. I mean, because you could buy a $2,000 frame, $3,000 frame. That's gonna make you a nice bike if you already have the components, I guess.
Right. Yeah, I think that one of the big ones for me from a value standpoint, and that's a great one, a whole bike value, I would definitely agree that is YT. I think one of the big ones for me that I noticed very quickly, like, and again, it depends on your entry level, like where you are in your riding process, but changing out your bars, your handlebars is epic.
Yeah, it's
like,
under $100 too.
and it's a lot of times under. Don't buy whiskey though. Did you hear about that recall?
No.
Apparently, like, I don't know for sure. I've got to do more due diligence, but whiskey bars apparently were having a big recall on the carbon, so they were failing,
Man.
and that is not safe.
I've never ridden carbon bars, so I've just always been. I know that carbon's strong. They race Indy cars in it, so
Yeah.
I understand it's strong. But I've always been like, I see pictures, like I just get
Yeah.
a little nervous about it.
I've had both, and so I've gone down that road. To me, I had a set of whiskeys. I think the ones that I had that are on another bike somebody else rides now. I think those were where they had this
Yeah.
issue. Again, someone told me that, so I haven't verified it. But I found that, like, for me, the best thing was once you start the bar game, you might start out at 800, and as you get better, you start really, identifying where your hands are, and there's tricks for all that. Then you're cutting those bars down, or you're buying another set of bars. And again, for $100, that is something you rely on as a core component. It's
Yeah.
not just something fluff. It is and so you don't have to go get the fat bar, although they're great. I had one.
I have this.
You can go get your deity bars like you have, or I've got some E13s, and I've got one set of E13s, and I've got some 1-ups. And my 1-ups, both of them are carbon, and I have no issue, and I love both of them, and they ride really well. They feel completely different. But then you start talking about, now you're looking at handlebars, and the reason I say it's a value is because you get your first set, you figure it out, but then all of a sudden you're into the game of like the sweep, and then how far back do you want it to
rise,
sweep,
yeah.
and all these little nuances where you can sell those bars to somebody else as long as they're not too beat up. So you can constantly move through bars, and it's easy to get rid of a set of bars for a reasonable price. Like the value of them holds in the resale market, it seems like,
Yeah.
as much as anywhere
Maybe
else.
we should just do this. So that was the $100 best
Oh,
upgrade.
yeah, that's fun.
So we can do 200 or 3,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
up. So I think that is a spot on, like, because the handlebars are makes the bike what it feels like.
Yeah.
Like you can get on somebody else's bike, maybe the rise is different, maybe, and that's what you feel, right? The first initial thing. And my bikes are both different. Like they have different width bars,
same
and
with
so
mine.
I get back and forth, and it takes a little while to get used to both bikes again.
Well, so I also think that that's a poor man's hack. So if you are fortunate enough to have, maybe you have your old hardtail and then you upgrade it, or you have two bikes like you and I do. I like having those two. They ride completely differently, yes, but they also now, because my bars are different, they feel different. The only downside to that is that if you want precision training and you're really after that perfect ride, you want to match everything across the board.
Yeah.
And that's awesome for that side, but it also takes away the idea that I like having the little bit of threat. I like it feeling different.
We also are doing this for fitness, right?
Yeah.
So you change your muscle location, you're also using different muscles a little bit. So that is another thought process. I know that there's bike fitters out there that are screaming right now. Like, these guys are talking stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, but we're talking to average people that don't get bike fit. Like, my bikes have never been fit.
Right.
I do everything for aesthetics. Like, I'm not even lying. Like, I buy things for the
aesthetics.
color.
So you've never had a saddle fit or anything?
No.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, and the thing about it is I've done long distance races, maybe I could have been more comfortable, sure, but it wouldn't have looked as cool.
Right. Yeah. So I'm the opposite in the sense of I've not been fully fit. Like I just watched a video of, I forget where the company is, but I was watching some content and they did a full proper bike fit where they did everything from the saddle to, they even did
everything.
The stem. They did the width of pedal, all of these things, because somebody was flats and somebody was clipped, but they did all of these things, crank distance. All of it, right? They went through the whole process to get this proper fit. First off, I can't imagine how much that costs. That's got to be relatively expensive because it seemed like they were there and then they put them on the bike and rode them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's how much?
They have different levels.
I'm sure. Right. Yeah. So they went through and did that whole process, and then you got to buy all the components because that's what the real gimmick of that is. It's a massive upsell, right?
Yeah. I know a couple places you could get fit.
Yeah.
And it almost makes sense. It does make sense. We're paying thousands and $1,000s of a bike. Why not have it be proper?
Oh, right? Yeah, for sure.
Like it makes sense to have it set up correctly.
Yeah.
But I think
you can get there riding it in.
Yeah, I was going to say at this point, marginally. Yeah. Like if I'm not having pain in my hands, they're not falling. If your hands are falling asleep or there's something not set up correctly.
Yep.
Like if you're getting pains in certain spots, there's something definitely not set up correctly. But if you're just having fun and ride on the weekends, like most people that listen to this, then you're probably all right.
Yeah. I would suggest, I do advocate, and this is not within the price range. It is out of the $100 range.
Yeah, we're going 200 now?
We could-ish. But so runner up.
Okay.
In between the 100 and 200. Runner up, I would suggest getting fit for a saddle. I did notice a humongous amount, especially now that I have a back thing that I'm recovering. I can feel a huge difference between my saddles. And so what happened was I had a 143 and I moved to a 155. I originally rode all 143s, but as my riding got better and as I've been changing sort of my style, that 155, not because I got fatter in the sense of that kind of weight, I've added leg strength.
Yeah.
The shift, and he was like, dude, this is from 2 years ago and to where you are now. I had to make a shift. And now it does feel 10 times better, and the distribution is better, and it's more comfortable.
Did you sit on that pad and measure?
Yeah, I did the whole thing, yeah.
That thing's pretty cool.
It is
your
cool.
Feet on the heels. And,
Yep. And shout out to the local bike shops that do that. If they pay us, we'd give them a free plug.
We know where it is.
He's probably listening for the first time ever.
He's never
listened. But I do suggest doing it. I do think it's important. I think Bike Fit, and that side at least, is a good runner-up. That's my runner-up seeing.
Yeah.
All right, what do you got for the $200 category? What do you slap in there for the $200 best value?
A P&W dropper post.
They're less than that.
Well, it kind of. Mine was $250. So.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I got the.
Is it? But it's not.
I got the bougie
Yeah.
one.
You're not a Fox, right? So it's no Kashima.
No.
Post. Yeah. All right, P&W dropper post for $250 is a good deal.
Yeah, and you had the lever, and you have to buy the lever separate. So after.
Oh wait, so $250 is not no lever.
No, it'd probably $250 total.
Sorry.
Let's just say $250 total. So I think if you're. P&W has the best value dropper post, I think. If you're not going to go
best value everything.
Yeah, that's true. If you're not going to go Reverb or Axis or Fox, I think P&W is probably your best bet.
Yeah, I recently bought some pedals from them. That would be in the $100 category. because I was trying to make my e-bike that's blue. I have that Trek blue, trying to make it look like Captain
Trying
America.
to be aesthetic. That's
Yeah,
right.
I'm pulling a Dale aesthetic game, and so I found these silver pedals that look like the inside of Captain America's shield, which is what I was after. So I'm making this like really dorky whatever. I can't wait to ride with Paul or Brulette that wears that Captain America jersey. I need to get it anyway. So, but they're great. The products are great, and there's a couple of interviews I've heard with the guy, like they built them. $250 for a dropper post. I'd invest in that, and here's why. If even a $200 dropper,
We have a
post,
video of why to not have a dropper.
yeah, that's a callback, straightforward. I would put into it because you're going to use that you use that so much, and you depend on it so much that you don't want it to not work.
Right.
Because your day can be overriding. If it doesn't work anymore, your day's done. Like you could still stand up and ride downhill, but when it's time to climb back up, you either hike a bike, and depending on where you are, that's going to be a miserable experience.
There's a lot of pro tips with them too, as well. Like were you at F&O when I said that the other day? Maybe not. No, because it was the NASCAR loop. And I said, listen, pro tip, drop your seat post in the corners.
Yep.
And they were like, wait, what? I'm like, lower your center of gravity.
Right.
And so then a couple of guys did it, and they're like, holy crap, I never thought about that. I'm like, yeah, just do it in the corners. Just don't pedal.
Just don't, yeah, that's the way to do it. Yeah, so I think there's a lot to be said for the $200 dropper post. I think that's a solid one. I could get behind it. I'm gonna deviate slightly.
Okay.
And so my entry into the $200 category, I would push for tires.
$200?
$100 per tire.
Well, I'm cheap. I buy Specialized tires. They're $50 a piece.
Yeah. So I mean, some of the stuff I've looked at least in that range. They're sub that, but I would at least look in that range.
Tubeless and nice.
Wait a second though. Didn't you get a set of? Who's somebody we know got a set of rims for $200 that were super good?
Not me. I know.
Maybe they were used. No, somebody got some decent.
I don't know.
I don't remember now. Maybe I'm confusing that. Let's stay on topic. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with tires, and the
Used
reason
stuff, you can get stuff.
Yeah,
We're talking about brand.
I'm gonna say with tires, brand new. It's not gonna be exactly 100. By the time you ship them to you and all that stuff, it's gonna be close. They range. Like Specialized tires are solid, but there's some stuff when you start getting the axis and
you have to get it for where you ride, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah. So I'm maybe a little below, but it's somewhere in that range. My God, I knew somebody that spent a ton of money on grips. Like who bought those?
Those Rev
Justin.
Grips.
Justin has those Rev grips. Good God, Justin.
He has everything bougie.
He is bougie.
You know he's listening to this. Like he listens right when it drops.
I know.
I love him.
Because he's up at 4 a.m.
He's number one fan.
He is. Justin is our number one. Justin's we
He's
love
number
you.
one anyway.
But you do have bougie grips, bro.
Bougie. Well, he has a Yeti, so it's only. Oh my goodness, dude! Listen, we just got done talking about this. My watch pops up. P&W components. When it rains, it drops. Get a dropper post that works in any condition.
Seriously?
I swear. Look, boom. P&W.
Well, there you go. If you guys don't believe it, we just caught it on
I put
tape.
it in the atmosphere.
They're listening.
They are. My phone's in my
literally
pocket.
Listening. So I would say with the tires, and the reason I bring up the tires so emphatically is I just have found that after a set of bars, I already had a good dropper post, and this is on my Gorilla Gravity, which was topped out. It was a $7,500 bike, so I was topped out on pretty much everything.
Yeah.
The only thing I could change out were the tires. And once you start swapping tires around, and you got to have a tool, and you're going to need an air compressor.
And some patience.
And, yeah. So once you do all this stuff and you get it all set up, because if you're riding tubeless, that configuration can cost you a little bit of money. So I guess that's where I'm going with it. But once I was done with it night and day. And then testing different tires and getting the feel and knowing when you want to ride those certain ones. That is one way to not only make your bike ride better, but that can change up your whole. Let's say you're broke as right.
Yeah.
But you have, 2 sets of tires. Just changing your tires around will make your bike feel and ride differently. And if you have some old handlebars, if you just if you're like, dude, I can't spend any more money.
And if you don't, ask your buddies. They probably have these 2 things laying around.
I bet they do.
And they'll probably let you have them.
Right.
If they're not, then you're not your buddies anymore.
Right. That's exactly
like we
right.
pass stuff around to each other for minimal dollars.
Yeah.
Or beers.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it's basically like we just virally give to each other. And
one thing about tires though we don't virally give each other things.
See what I'm saying?
You got me. It took me a minute. So one thing that it's not the syphilis, Justina. So one thing that I didn't realize when I was first starting to buy tires.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy the same 2 tires.
That is correct.
Like I got in this habit of every time I order a tire to order 2 because I'm like, I got two two tires. But you figure out that you don't need the same back as you do the front, and generally you do. I never. Mine are all different.
Oh, so I'm not even same brand.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
you
I
can mix
run
them.
a Continental up front, and then Der Kaiser in the front, which has been my favorite tire. Did well on it at racing and other stuff. And then what am I running in the back right now? Because I swapped.
Maxxis.
Yeah, I am running Aggressor in the back.
Yeah.
So I'm running Aggressor in the back and that up front, and that's just what I've learned to like. But on my e-bike, totally different setup. On my e-bike, I went with lighter, thinner walled tires. And then I'm running a Purgatory and a Butcher, and again, ride's totally different. But now I'm kind of looking at that Minion SS.
I know. I saw those the other day. It was pretty rad.
I know. And I'm just looking at rolling side. But from what I hear, and again, grip suddenly starts to matter. And these are all nuanced things that, like, I don't like DHRs and DHFs. I don't like them. I feel like I have to lean the bike over way too far, and my confidence isn't there just to get them to stick. I just can't get them there. I had XR5s, which are the Trek equivalents. Did not care for those either.
I have the Butcher, which is the
I
equivalent.
love the Butcher there.
It's like similar to the.
But I think it has an extra knob,
an
so
extra
like
knob,
you don't
yeah.
have to. The DHR one is like it's like a finger width for me.
Yeah.
Like it's a.
Maybe I have the Eliminator. I don't know.
I think you have an eliminator,
I have the Eliminator. I do like it, though.
and then you do aesthetic because you have the gum wall.
Yeah.
Right.
I have ground control on the back. Both
Oh, that's a
specialized
good bike.
tires.
That's a good tire.
That's a good tire. I love
Especially
it.
for the kind of surface we ride on.
On my other bike, I have ground control on the front and back, and I love it.
Yeah, there you go.
And I mean, we rode up Birmingham with it, and I liked it.
So
walked at Birmingham.
that's more appropriate. So that's the biggest thing. Is like that's an investment, but you may end up buying 4 tires to find what you want to get and do that stuff. So it could get up to 200. But I do think that tires are very. I wouldn't just buy one set. I think you got to experiment. So you got to put the
and
investment.
again, borrow your friends before you buy what you want.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because I mean, I have old tires. I have a ton laying in my closet in my shed that you could borrow. That you can see if you like it, and then buy a brand new one.
Right.
That's not going to be a big
Yeah,
deal.
because nothing sucks more than like. Luckily, all the tires I've gotten rid of were the factories, and Gorilla Gravity's component their bikes out, but Trek is of course going to put. I have no problem with Bontrager, but like they're going to put their mount. It's just not it's not that style. Having a DHF, it's just not for me. And it was a DHF 1. It wasn't the 2. The 2 has an extra nub. Anyway, there's so much nuance to tires that you can spend forever working on it, and then literally, if we wanted to be real snobs. If you and I knew we both have 2 different bikes, let's say we're on a single bike. So this is the other value of this.
What are those things?
A tangent bike, side by side. I mean,
No. We're
a bike made for 2.
Yeah,
a twofer.
We need to do that and show up to a race. That'd be so funny.
Tandem. Thank you.
We could do that. I call them joint Facebook account bikes.
There it is. That's exactly what it is.
Because if a dude has one of those bikes and his wife's on there with him, or vice versa, front back, he definitely has a joint Facebook.
Oh,
account.
100%.
He's not man enough to ride his own bike.
We need to get what we should realistically. If we were going to ride, let's say south. If you were being really into the game, you would change your tires out and you put on those ground controls, some XC base tire, light casing, because you're not dealing with any stuff. And you go ride all that stuff. And then if you're going back out to the Reb, then you would swap over and put back on your more downhill aggressive enduro tires.
I just swap bikes.
That's what I'm saying. If you have a single bike. So again, the tire value goes into that same thing of like, now you've spent, what are we saying? We said $100 for bars, $200 for a dropper post, $200 for tires, because I'm saying you got to test them out. But at the end of the day, if you just did 2 of those, your dropper post is going to change your ride. The bars are going to change your ride. The tires will change. So if you had at least 2 of those, you're mixing it up and you're still having a good time with it.
And again, you could probably do it cheaper.
I bet you
because
could.
of your buddies.
Yeah, and you could also
lean
look
on
for
your
use.
friends.
Yeah.
Especially if you're new, because I learned that like guys were giving me like they want you to upgrade.
Yeah.
Like we encourage our friends to spend their money. You know, like we really do. No pressure to people like your bike sucks. We don't talk about that.
Yeah, that's not good. Unless you're Jakey Poo, but we redeemed ourselves.
We did redeem ourselves.
We
never said it sucked. We just called it small. Yeah, which is kind of like it sucks.
There were some conversations about it being like a trike.
Yeah.
Like the kids.
Well, I think that I might have nailed in the coffin when I bunny hopped it.
Yes.
The whole bike.
Yeah.
That was a bad move. That was a dick move.
The female in the room is asking if there's a penis size comparison to our bikes, and I would most assuredly say yes. Yes, very much so.
What did you? Yeah. Well, I have big hands.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, there's a lot to it in that capacity. All right, so so we get into what, $300?
Yep. So
$300
Let's
category?
go 3 to 5.
3 to 5. I was going to say
300 gets
300
a
is
little
hard. Yeah.
Yeah. 300.
So 3 to 5 is kind of tricky.
No, but I got one.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I only paid $465 for my hunt wheels.
Oh, wow.
Which is a great deal.
That is an insanely good deal.
If you want, and I'm pretty sure, I'm 99% sure it was $465. But if you want a good set of wheels with high engagement and great customer service, that's the best way to go.
Are you still riding those?
Half.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
you swapped out your hubs.
I have 3 rear wheels because I have a crash replacement problem.
Right.
So and their crash replacement deal is super good. I mean, they
legit.
sent me a whole wheel, hub, spoked, laced, everything already built for like $130, which
Good
is
gosh.
awesome. So now I
That's
have
fantastic.
technically 3 rear hubs, 3 XD drivers, 3. Like the wheels, 2 wheels are destroyed, but that's not their problem. That's me.
Right.
So recently I just swapped the rear wheel, but that's a different. Not Hunt's problem. But
No.
for $465, listen, when I first had stock wheels on my Specialized, I rode those for 2,000 or 3,000 miles. No idea what new wheels felt like.
Yep.
And I ordered not Hunt, but Hope hubs and Stan's wheels. I put them on there, and it was like I exponentially was faster just because of the wheels. Like it was, I thought it was all bullshit that people were talking like, oh, the wheels make a difference. No. The wheels are crazy. Right. It was almost like coming out of corners and the bike's lifting, like it was that much lighter and that much better.
I think there may also be a set of stands in that range as well.
Yeah, there is.
And I'm gonna parlay and say that's one of the biggest. If you took wheels and bars, or wheels and obviously tires, wheels and a dropper, any of those comboed in, if you can afford to do that, that right there is already going to change. It's going to change the bike so much. The bigger, if you're coming off stock stuff, right?
Yes.
You don't want to downgrade to these, but if you're moving into that category, highly suggest it. I think a dropper post is crucial.
Yeah, because you got WR1 and i9 hubs early on in the bike.
I got way too early.
Yeah, but you saw a huge difference, right?
Oh, it's insane. But and now they've traveled around. Like, I've yet to put them on my e-bike, but my e-bike's equipped to handle them. But point being is, like, because they're carbon or whatever, I jumped on the wheel on one because I was like, I'm going to invest in them. And you ride them for a lot. They were double, almost triple. They were triple. They were triple our category price here.
They're not value.
I paid a lot of money for
them.
There's not a value proposition in those.
Those
the only catch is their lifetime to the original owner.
Those are you have to get a Casey to work, and then you have to get another girlfriend to work as well. So you don't
gotta
have
the double hustle.
Yeah, you got to do it a whole bunch.
Yeah, which means then you're like double booking yourself a lot, and that is just not good.
And then you don't have time to ride, so then we are not one anymore.
Yeah,
we are more than one.
We are solo, and then we are 2 and 4.
We are 4.
So I think a good set. The Hunts, though, I think the better value, because I think the hubs on the Hunts that came with yours were better. They had more points of engagement. Yeah. Again, I didn't understand what any of that meant because of what we ride here.
Yeah.
But when we've gone out of town and I needed to do like a pedal kick, and now I use it in like, not just to climb rocks, I do it to like come out of turns and do little things that are part of my riding style. Right. Having that engagement is major. I did not have that engagement on my e-bike when I first got it. It had like whatever their lowest end garbage wheels, and it is awful. Like once you have engagement, you cannot go back. Like there's no way around it.
No, you can't even take the ring back.
Yeah, you cannot take the ring back. You're stuck. You're 100% married.
Yeah,
to
I think that to me was the biggest change without changing the whole bike.
Yeah,
was the wheels.
So hands down, I would agree. I think if you can go look at a wheel set, go down that route. If you need to, you can technically even drip them in if you have to. You don't have to buy a wheel set. You could buy your rear first or your front first and get there. But
the other thing that I say, sorry to interrupt,
and that was for $465 for a set, by the way, not a single wheel.
Yeah,
go ahead.
The other thing I say is if you're going to buy something that's expensive, I know we can get it cheaper online, but if you're buying wheels or forks or something like that, buy it from your local bike shop.
Yep.
Don't save the $40 or $50 because I had an issue with my Stan's wheels. I took it right to him, and it's so much easier than trying to do it online.
Yeah, shout out to I'll give him this one because he was good. Shout out to Phil for the customer service on that side because it's not just you. Right. I know that Todd Hall's had like some wheel challenges, and he took care of them. And even
it's worth the extra for it. It's like buying insurance, to a certain extent, because let them deal with the warranty problems.
Yeah,
except for Hunt. Hunt was great to deal with online, and just the shipping it back and forth was kind of wonky. Luckily, I'm a pack rat, and I kept the boxes.
Did you relace your own?
No. And actually, one of the wheels cracked, so they were just going to send me the hoop, and then I have to take it to the bike shop and let them build it. But I messaged them back and I said, listen, I don't want something to happen again, and then you'd be like, well, it's because they built it. So they were like, okay, fine, we'll just send you a whole one. So, like I just didn't want that on me. Like,
No,
I didn't want to lose my warranty ability.
No, I get it. I totally get it.
Because my riding style,
especially because
is
apparently
abusive.
you trash bikes.
I was going to say my riding style is abusive. So.
It is. It's How do you treat Casey?
Well, I'm the fattest of the fastest, right, Casey?
I was trying to give her a way to just in the car when she hears this, just punch you in the shoulder.
Hey, listen, she's like, I held her hostage the other day when we were going to pick my mom up at the airport. And she's like, I haven't listened for a long time. She's like, because I hear all your guys' stories anyway, and usually I go back and tell her like something that's funny. And so I was like, she got kind of pissed because one of them we didn't mention her in a jokingly way. I was
I think we had a serious
my bad,
one.
bro.
Yeah. No, she's a character.
She is.
It's like Carrie. There we go. I got Carrie worked in. We say Carrie almost every episode, one way, shape, or form.
She said her and Sarah need to come on and drink wine and we'll be on our podcast.
I will do that if Justina produces it so that
it
gets done correctly and it doesn't fall apart. I will gladly let that train wreck
We should just
unfold.
let them have a Destroy Dale and Drew podcast with Justina hosting.
She's going to be on the Justina's podcast, which is the Crafted Show. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, you can't hear her really over there because these microphones are
That
good.
is correct.
Oh boy. All right, so
Make them talk about bikes, though. Just to be clear, like they're going to talk about mountain bikes.
Oh gosh.
oh, God, I hope you guys hear that in the background. If not, it'd be quite good. So if we recap, we're going to say that our $100 entry, we both agree is bars.
That's right.
Right? We deviate slightly here. I said tires. You said dropper post. And again, look at P&W. For tires, look at all kinds of different stuff. There's all kinds of range. And I suggest at least 3 to 4 tires so you can mix it up. And then we both agree again that when we get to the $300 to $500 range, whatever it is, we start looking at, or whatever it was.
Yes, 3 to 5.
3 to 5. When we start looking at that range, we suddenly are looking at a set of wheels. We both said that you should look at Hunt. We both agree on the Hunt wheels.
Yeah.
Just from straight testimonial.
Yeah, right.
And then from my perspective, I've had 2 sets of stands and I've liked them. My current stands are a little more than that, but
yeah, I have a set of stands as well. And I like them as well. If you can find stands that fit your riding style, they're pretty.
That's exactly it.
Tried and true.
The biggest catch on all this, and this is the tip that I think everyone forgets, is like the easiest way to do this, Dale's brought up like multiple times, is ask your friends, buy from your friends, and then if you really want to save the money, just really dig around online.
Yeah, Craigslist. Is that a thing still?
Yes, if you would like hookers or people to come stop, if you have a fetish of, so I had a friend, sidebar, I had a friend who lived in Missouri who was trying to raise money for a movie. So she started doing weird jobs on Craigslist. Now, none of them there was no like sexual intercourse or any sort of like that.
Like I'll feed your chickens.
No, it was all sexual based, but she didn't do anything. She didn't physically touch the person, right?
Oh, okay.
So she did popping balloons. She had on regular clothes, and she popped balloons between her legs, just popping balloons. That was some dude's thing. She stepped on bugs. So the guy would order bugs, and she would step on them, mostly roaches, and she would step on, and that was his thing. Yeah,
poor bug.
Oh no. And she told me like another one. And I have to go back somewhere. I have notes, and I wrote a whole script on this whole idea.
That's
of
awesome.
Yeah, it was absolutely insane.
Is that the original OnlyFans then? Craigslist?
Yeah. Craigslist is the OG OnlyFans for sure.
Man, if you go deep you could probably go deep in the archives of some weird random dudes.
Oh, I'm sure there's some just.
That's the original Tinder too, I think.
Ooh, where'd you meet Craigslist? Oh my God,
it's better than FarmersOnly.com.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with Farmers Only. Sheep need love too.
That's right. Oh, goats.
You had put out this big press release.
I did.
What is your big press release?
Well, it wasn't. We hinted at it, anyways, right?
Yeah, it was hinted.
And things are going well.
Yes,
in our world.
Yes,
and we think it's time that we make the world our oyster.
Yes.
And there's only one way we can do this.
Okay.
And it's with our announcement. We are running for president in 2024.
We are 100% running.
Well, he's running for president. I'm running for
He's vice president. Yep. Right about now, the soft member is questioning. I feel like that's delightful. The soft member is questioning. He's like, "Are you talking about Samba?"
He's like, "What are you guys waiting for?
No,
You guys can have
we're
it."
legitimately talking about the presidency of the United States. It's going to happen.
It's gonna happen.
It is not the president of Samba. That is for you, sir.
The funny thing is, I put this hat on this morning because I always wear the red trucker hat.
Yeah.
People like walk towards me and they think it's a "Make America Great Again" hat
Oh no.
until they get past, and it's not at all.
There's an entire episode of Larry David, the Curb Your Enthusiasm, where obviously he lives in California, ultra liberal spot. He starts wearing a "Make America Great Again" hat so that people will stop talking to him.
That's awesome. Actually,
It's so good, dude. It's such
but
a
down
great
here it
episode.
would be like every
Oh yeah.
moron on the planet. Would
Yeah.
be
You'd have to
like
wear a
best
Biden
friends.
hat, but I don't think they make Biden hats.
I would never wear that either.
Yeah. I know.
Oh my gosh, we're in such a conundrum. That's why we're going to run for office, and we're going to bring you guys exactly what you want.
That's exactly yes. It's going to be just like what is the line from Napoleon Dynamite? He's like, "And all your dreams will come true." Is exactly
Or
what
all your dreams
terribleness
will
will
get
happen.
cummed on.
Yes, that's probably okay.
Spank bank.
Okay. Well, fall apart very quickly. I'm sure we're already canceled before we even got started. If they did 5 minutes of digging,
It's so funny if this somehow reaches somebody that's like, wait,
hey, if you want to fund it,
we'll
I
take it as
am
far as
age
Kanye.
eligible. So are you. We are
I
both
know.
age eligible to run for presidency of the United States.
I know.
And the only platform we have is that we have a podcast.
It's awesome
all
though.
we got.
Imagine if we got, if nothing else, somebody write us in.
That'd be hilarious. Then what happens? What a terribly awful movie if it goes the wrong way. What a great setup for a bike movie. So if the setup is you say this joke and then all of a sudden somebody writes you in, and then to show the riding footage, it's what you've converted the White House into, and it's like just
Just a bunch of rants.
right.
That's actually a good idea.
I know. That's
Man,
what
we
I
should
do for a
pitch it.
living.
I've been there. So the thing is, like, I think that we can pitch so many ideas with this.
Yes.
We have a lot of things to offer the American public
Sure.
and our Chechenian friends that are listening.
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
But I'm Kamala, so you got to speak. I'm the vice.
Well, I mean, I'm about as
I'm
dumb as
definitely
Joe
not
Biden in
Kamala,
that
by the
sense.
way.
Like, I'm just going to stand here and be like, right?
I know.
Or I can go Trumpian.
To be fair, I've been more on camera than Kamala has since she was elected.
That is facts.
So,
And I take as many naps as Joe Biden.
also fact.
So I got a bad back. I grunt when I stand up. It's all perfect. I mean, we're perfect
Actually,
presidential candidates.
I think I'm going to play the Uncle Joe role that he had when he was Barack's vice.
No, that's the way to do it.
That was way cooler.
Yeah.
Now it's a lot easier to make fun of geriatric Joe. 15 years ago,
Yeah.
he's still geriatric Joe.
Yeah,
What's
he's
going
still
on?
there. Yeah, I we don't do politics
Yeah,
on
we're
this
not
show.
politicians.
We don't even know what we're talking about, but we're doing it anyway. Well, with that said,
I barely know what side. That's why I made these shirts, and I was like, I don't know what's blue and what's red.
it's good. It's
works out
actually a
well.
very comfortable shirt.
It's
I like these
from
you changed-
Target.
Are they Targets?
Dude, I love
These
it.
Goodfellas are very good.
They are good.
They're very comfy. It's a good shirt.
Hey,
good
if
quality.
you guys want to support the podcast and our bid for president in 2024, you can find these shirts at daleboyd.com.
Did you buy
That's
that
not
yet?
a thing. No, I should.
That's gone.
It's got to be gone.
Yeah.
There's another way cooler.
I
Dale
bet DB Sports Management's available
Boyd.
there.
Douchebag sports management.
It's perfect.
I don't want it. I don't want any .coms.
You
We
gotta
got
have a
ridetherebellion.com for all of your Ride the
You
Rebellion.
can go
needs.
to Ride the Rebellion. In fact, you can follow us on all social media at Ride the Rebellion because
That's
we've
right.
linked it all together, and it makes it very easy.
And if you guys would like any lessons on segways, we'll be out there riding them around on Paul Blart Mall Cop style.
Dude, I will totally Paul Blart myself down the Rebellion if somebody
Oh,
would do it.
speaking of Paul Blart, my brother's a cop, and I have a video of him crashing downtown on one of those scooters. That's going up on our social media. Sorry,
Yep.
Jake. You already hate me anyway. I don't give a fuck.
Done.
Done.
There it is. Bonus. That's for our Patreon fans.
Yeah. we need one of those to support our campaign.
I don't know. I had a buddy try and launch a Patreon, and he got like 3 supporters, and that's just like tragic.
Well, one of my friends is a musician, and he has a Patreon, and apparently like 5 years ago, I signed up to automatically withdraw $1, and I didn't realize it. Like I was giving him $1. I might have been his only person.
A month?
No, it was like I don't know how many months. I did give him a lot of dollars.
Can you imagine if you did it a day and he was getting $365 and like you could have bought?
I do
that's a lot.
support him. I think he's a great musician, but $1.
It's always a challenge.
$1 was too much.
Yeah. You know what popped up in conversation? Literally yesterday at lunch, somebody brought up and said, "Well, what do you mean, man? Because $20 is $20." I was like,
Did you stop?
"Oh my God!"
Wow.
I looked at Morgan, but she didn't. I was expecting her to know it, but she doesn't listen to the podcast.
Everybody's getting my tricks. Like there was one of the coaches I coach with sent me this thing. I told the kids last year, and I didn't make this up. I heard it from one of the other coaches I had along the way. It was the kids lost, so I said we didn't lose. You win or you learn. So we learned to not lose again. Right. So he sent me a thing where John Calipari, the coach of the Kentucky Wildcats, just said it in a press conference the other day. I was like, copycat.
All right, there it is.
Come on. But every coach has the same. It's not. But you do win or learn, by the way. That's not what Dale Boyd says.
Dale Boyd, sports management.
It's not remember what Dale says.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was going to tee that up, and you just
Win or
dropped
learn?
And then I heard one
No,
of
they're
your-
not good. The Dale Boyd says is not good. That's the point.
Well, I understand. So, just to recap, if you have a chance, head over and see the dates, February 17th, 18th, and 19th. So this will be dated after that. So we just plopped it in there. And that is over at Bogue Chitto.
That's right.
For that event. I think you probably sign up through, I don't even know, Norba?
Find it online.
Yeah, because we don't know. That's a fail on us.
Yeah,
but
we're
find it. But well worth it. We had a good time. Last time we were there riding competition-wise, we got, obviously, Bug destroyed his shoulder. But we got one of the
Bug
just
got smashed by that girl
Yep.
for sexual favors.
Do I know?
No, I mean the Craigslist girl.
Oh,
sexual
yeah.
bug
yeah.
favors.
Yes, yes.
Sorry, Sky.
I was like, woo.
Sorry, Sky.
Wow. That
happen.
was like not what we're.
No, it was a dude that took Bug to the truck.
It was a dude, so that's okay. And then
a whole other story. So.
yeah, that's just lots of things happened out there, so you should be there for it and have a good time. We're gonna try and be there best we can. Schedule pending. That's not a guarantee, just based on what we got going on. So. Check that out. Again, you can find us on social media at all the Ride the Rebellion on all the channels. Check us out. Love us on YouTube. We would appreciate you watching some of the shorties. They're pretty funny.
They are funny.
And we have a good time
Pretty
with those.
fresh.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do some campaign ones soon.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, we should.
We'll also be at Sylacauga at Skyway.
That's
Epic.
correct.
March 31st through April 2nd. The race is April 1st.
April Fool's Day.
April Fool's.
Is that the Fool's Gold race?
No, Fool's Gold's in Georgia.
I was just making it up.
Actually, some of the bump dudes are going to come too.
Oh, nice.
So we're going to have quite the hoedown
Oh, boy.
at the Skyway.
It's going to get a little rowdy.
It's
I
going
can
to
feel it already.
I told the organizers of the race to just bring a school bus up there to bring all the racers that don't want to go back.
Right.
Because they're going to just want to party with us.
So are you going to just go ahead and drop keto for that? For the how are you going to maintain your non-carb status with the amount of beer that I'm sure is going to be slung in our faces?
I've been going in and out lately anyway.
Okay.
Only weekends. And that's a
Only-
weekend, conveniently. I've lost 25 pounds since December, though, so I'm
Now you look good.
doing well.
You look good. All right. With that said, just remember what Dale Boyd says.
Follow us on social media, you bitches.